Bumps and bruises, but guys are doing well, relatively healthy. And as we talked about, a young group that I think is hungry to learn. Can't wait until September 26th, 27th, which is our first day of practice. Super excited about that. Got a lot to work on and a lot to happen between now and then. Coach Q has been working them morning and afternoon, trying to get them right and ready for the season. He was the primary target in paintball last week for that reason. But the guys are doing well, so we got a lot of work ahead of us. So, any questions?
What's it like having D'Angelo and Evan here and seeing Thad get inducted?
Yeah, thanks for asking that. Obviously, I tweeted something out yesterday. Thad, I just went up to his box and I said, I think there's a Hall of Fame basketball coach in here somewhere. He had just went down to the field, unfortunately, but it was great seeing he and his family. I'm sure Thad will tell you what makes it most special is to have all those guys back by his side. And as a coach, that's why you do it. So it's really cool. Obviously, extremely well deserved. His tenure here, I've spoken about that. It's the best. So glad he and his family are coming back and having another day to enjoy all of the fruits of their labor. So,
Coach, you followed some great coaches.
Yeah.
How is that? I mean, there's always pressure, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. There's pressure wherever you go. If you're insecure, you get exposed in coaching pretty quickly. You got to be who you are and do it as well as you can do it and not try to mimic anyone else. That's the way we've tried to do it, and appreciate what came before you, and have a lot of respect. It's hard to win games. It's hard to win championships. And when you look at somebody like Thad and his teams that won as many as they did, it's easy to really appreciate that.
Does it make it easier that you guys have had the first two seasons that you've had? I mean,
sure.
Success makes it easier.
Yeah, I think I absolutely. I think had we really struggled significantly and not went to the tournament, I do think that it's easy to appreciate what he's done, but I feel good about what we've started to do, and hopefully, we can get our program to the level that he had it rolling, particularly in the middle of his tenure. That, I always said he turned this program into almost he turned it into a really special program for a couple of years.
How did Terrence Styles come to be a candidate to replace Skinny?
So I talked to about 4 or 5 guys, a couple former players, and then I talked to 4 or 5 candidates because there was a couple women included in that. And I was looking to change the position a little bit to make it, because it's a non-coaching position, to make it more about trying to get our guys best prepared for what comes next. And obviously football's done a great job with that. So I just thought Terrence, with his playing/professional experience in Columbus, would be the best candidate, and I'm excited about him getting to work. He's been great so far. He's actually with Caleb this weekend at a NCAA invitation-only kind of NCAA/NCAA kind of development weekend. So he's working right now.
Did you go into that purposely looking for a former Ohio State guy, or it just kind of worked out like that?
I did, but I was also looking at potentially one of a guy that I had coached, a former player that I had coached, as well as, like I said, a couple women candidates. So it didn't have to be that way, but at the end of the day, that probably gave it an edge, the fact that he had played here.
How are you going to manage the youth movement that is this year's team?
Yeah, good question. I think we're just going to manage it day by day. I think we learned some things with last year's team. I think I learned some things. You can't assume guys know anything. It's going to require some patience for all of us. There's no question. It's going to require some patience, and if you ask my wife, that's not one of my strengths. So we'll figure out a way to just deal with the bumps in the road.
How's the team's health right now? Last week you talked about some injuries.
Justin Arns is still not cleared for full contact. He's the only one not cleared for full contact yet. I'm not sure when that timeline is going to be. I would expect it to be, I expect him to be ready for practice, but we'll see how his recovery continues. He's been out for a while. he's finally putting some weight back on.
Along the lines of some of the new guys, some of the preseason magazines coming out, and you're seeing like DJ and EJ get listed for awards and things like that. How do you handle the next couple of weeks leading into practice with them?
You know, I think we're really trying to handle it kind of day by day, Adam. I think this process has been hard for all of our young guys. The grind that is, you know, in high school, you know, you have a little bit of a preseason, but you don't have a month and a half of conditioning before you start to actually get into full practice. So I think that's been a transition for them, understanding just how hard you have to work before you even step foot into an official practice. They're good players. I think as much as possible, we're going to try to normalize their path, which will include some struggle. As much as possible. That needs to be an expectation that there'll be bumps in the road for them. I just heard 3 days ago, you know, it's amazing when you look. We played a team last year. We had three McDonald's All-Americans. They had a losing season. So the reality is it's got to be a blend of our older guys and our younger guys.
Is there just like a combination of embracing the expectations, but also humbling them and saying, like, we haven't accomplished anything?
Yeah,
So,
I think given some of the frustrations we had last year, I think our returning guys understand how hard it is. Our new kids don't yet because they haven't been through it. But our schedule early, we'll learn a lot. And I think if you don't approach the game the right way, it humbles us all pretty quickly.
D'Angelo and Evan both had credentials down there that said recruit. Trying to find a little more eligibility for those guys.
They could help. They could definitely help. Those guys are unbelievable. They've been around. I mean, you want to talk about unbelievable ambassadors. D'Angelo came by, spent some time with our guys yesterday, worked out with them. Evan, we know what he's done. He gave us a bunch of money to renovate our. They are fully invested in what we're doing. They follow us every game, and it's pretty special to see that fraternity of guys.
How does an environment like this football game day help you when it comes in terms of recruiting?
Yeah, some kids love it. Most kids love it. Some are a little bit indifferent to it, which surprises even me. But most kids love it. They just love it. They eat it up. You know, they're starry-eyed. And when you see us perform like we have in the first half, it's even better. But the environment's unbelievable. Buckeye Nation is unbelievable, and it's the reason why we get them here as early as we can get them here. So, anything else? Enjoy the game, guys.